Have you seen or heard the rave about these new angle 90 grips? Well, I have, and I think that it's possible to make your own angle 90 grips for a fraction of the price, if not half the price. And I'm gonna show you how today, coming up. What's going on? It's your dude, That Guy Health and BF Men's Physique Pro, and today I got a fit tip for you, all right? So listen, if you've been here before, great. I'm glad you came back. If you haven't and it's your first time, you need to go ahead and subscribe, click that notification bell so you can see all the new videos when they come out. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to possibly make your own angle 90 grips with stuff you may already have in your home gym or in your gym bag, and if not, how to purchase these items for a fraction of the price and in its entirety, maybe even save yourself half as much instead of buying these, all right? Let's get into it, okay? So these angle 90 grips have been around the social media market wildfire, right? I've seen them around. Just so happened that one of my buddies, El Bada, that's pretty much how you say his Instagram name, I believe. But anyway, I know him as Ronnie, all right? But getting into this, he had and ordered these, and I had a chance to use them a little bit. And when I was using them, I kind of heard and kind of saw and experienced all three of those things, some things that I did and did not like. So let's go ahead and just get into what the basic or the primary principle of this piece of equipment is, all right? So using an angle 90 grip, basically it is focused around, and I'm a little bit higher today because we're going to be doing some arts and craft type stuff. So when it comes down to it, I'm going to bring the camera in. I'm going to show you me putting everything together to kind of duplicate this. I'm not going to say this product, but we're going to duplicate the same process or the same technique that they're using here, okay? So basically the whole thing is about not having fixed points to decrease joint injury, okay? Because we all know when you get on a straight bar, you're pretty much fixed. And sometimes we're handling quite a bit of weight when doing so. And since our grip is not natural, sometimes that could put a strain on your joints, especially if your form's not as good as it needs to be. Even when doing certain pull-ups or doing certain lat pulls, whether up or just coming across the plane, so most times it's good if your hands can have a little flex when you come back here to get that squeeze beyond that plane and increase the intensity in the back muscles, all right? So majority of the time, these are only going to be good. All of the time, they're only going to be good for pulling moves, not pushing moves. I don't think it would be a real benefit to try to tie this line on something and put it back this way and push. So I'm really saying this, let's just use it for pulling moves only. At least that's what I would do. But I don't have my set of angle 90 grips. I wasn't completely sold on buying a set yet. And I thought, you know what, this would be a fun time to see if I could duplicate this product and see if it might even work out. And if it works out, it's even better for you and better for myself as well, because we can save a fraction of money and use what we already have. And like I said, if we don't have it, we just go ahead and purchase it for a real cheap price. So I have all the items here. We're going to go over that. But first, let's go over some of these things, some of the specs that I did see. So I did see that the Angle 90 Grips website reported about 1,100 pounds of strength in the product. So I'm going to guess, I didn't talk to anybody over there. I'll probably message them later and see. And if I do, I'll put an answer below in the description. But I'm going to say that's between the two, okay? So if it's about 1,100, that gives us about 550, all right? That is a big priority, tensile strength, all right? So we want to get parts or get material that's going to hold up to at least that 550 per side, or we want to get as close as we can to it. Now, I don't think any of us, and I don't think majority of us are deadlifting 500 pounds and plus. I know when I usually work out, I'm working out with about 325, 315, and then I go up to like 405, and I pretty much taper off there to get the reps in instead of just having one strong one. I barely max. So right there, I'm in the 300 to 400 range. So we at least want to have material that's going to handle at least 500 pounds or better of strength in its own, okay? So what we're going to end up doing is basically using materials with that, and I'm going to list them. I'm also going to give you the prices of what I paid for them, and I'm also going to make sure I kind of give you an instruction on how to make that. And then after that, we're going to have some real fun, because I'm going to take the grips that I make, we're going to take the Angle 90 grips, go over to the gym area, and we're actually going to test those two out and see if it fails on camera. I haven't tested these out yet. I haven't made them yet. I have the material here. I have the idea that I want to use to try to make them, and we're going to see if that happens. So another thing with the angle 90 grip, you notice that the drawstring comes up and through the handle itself. So they have a slit on each side where they tell you can pretty much wrap it around something and then kind of shorten it up by putting the rest of the strap that's hanging loose and shorten up that grip to kind of decrease that distance on whatever you may be pulling. Therefore, you won't have to get up on a platform or anything like that. So I haven't come up with anything to make that happen because the product that I'm using is already a product that's made for a regular handle grip, and I don't want to split that material knowing that it might not be as flexible or as durable as this with a slit in it. So we're not going to be able to have the adjustment of shortening up the strap. So we'll try to get as close as we can to the strap without the shortening adjustment. All right, on that. Another thing that I didn't like as far as the strap is when you do grip, you grip like so here. So your middle finger or your middle finger is in between the strap and whatever you have on the weight. And I noticed that I got a little chafing in there, and I really did not enjoy that, especially when I got up to 225 pounds and even 315. I did not enjoy that chafing. It really aggravated me during the pull. So that's something that I want to eliminate on what I'm going to do. And I'm going to show you my thought process in reality, how I decided to try to eliminate that chafing of having my fingers and that strap in between there doing that. So we're going to try to get rid of that. As you see here, it's pretty much kind of concave. It has a little bit of an angle to it, and that's for an origami type situation when it's in your hand. So your hands just kind of fall naturally in it instead of just being straight across. I don't foresee that being a big deal with me. I think the main principle of this is to have free range of motion in there to be able to for your joints to kind of move in a natural path. Therefore, you don't have any binding, and that is the biggest thing that we're going to have, and we're going to have that with the handle and whatever we use for the strap material. So what we're going to do now is let's get into this. All right, let's go ahead and bring in the materials that we're going to use. All right, so I'm going to put this to the side. So what I did purchase for the handles is I have a couple of Fit Gear handles, and you can purchase those probably at your local sports store and get these. And these were only $12.99. All right, and then sometimes you get a coupon for 20% off. So $12.99 for these, about $13 pretty much. And then Paracord from your local Navy, Army store, hoorah. All right, now Paracord, you need to go ahead and make sure you get the right Paracord. Remember what I said, we want something that's going to handle 500 pounds or better. Paracord 550 is just that, all right? Its tensile strength is 500 pounds, so we're pretty much right in the ballpark where we want to be with that. I got pink. Of course, you know I represent and definitely support women going through breast cancer and any family that is going through that itself. So we got pink right here. And the next thing we'll need is a measuring tape so that we can measure out the length of cord. And I'm pretty much gonna go with something that I think it should be around so I can make sure I have enough cord to make adjustments to get as close as I can to that strap length. And then we have a lighter. I'm going to need that lighter to go ahead and singe the ends of the paracord, because as you see, it has a bunch of strings inside of it. It's like multi-material cord to handle that tensile strength. So we'll need to singe those, and I'll show you how we're going to do that in the video. And last but not least, a good and sharp pair of shears or good scissors. I would not recommend the knife, as you would have to kind of do the pull away, and that could really one, hurt you and probably ruin the paracord depending on how it goes. So we want to kind of get in there and have a nice one good snip and cut. So a good pair of scissors or shears is what you're going to need. So pretty much right here, $6.99 for the paracord, and we got the $12.99 handles, and then just what we need to make it happen. Basically our tools, our essentials to make the measurements, make the cuts, make all the stuff come together. So what we're gonna do is let's bring that camera in. I'm gonna focus it on the desk. You're gonna get to see me make this stuff up. And after I make it up, we're gonna come back, brief on how we're gonna test it out. We're gonna go over to the gym area and see if this actually works, or does it fail and I end up in the ER, or maybe it just breaks and we find out that it's probably worth it to go ahead and pay for the Angle 90 grips, which at the end of the video, I will let you know how much the Angle 90 grips cost, how much I spent, and then you can decide if you want to even try it yourself. So let's bring you in. All right, we're gonna get started here. So we're gonna go ahead and crack open one of these grips. Now we're gonna have to make two. So what I will do is I'll make one and get it done, and then hurry up and make the other off camera so we can just go ahead and minimize that time and get to what you all really want to see, and that's the testing to see if this thing even works or if it's bank or bust. All right, so let's just go ahead and pull out one of these. As you can see, it is rubberized, so the grip comfort as far as material where your hand will be around won't be bad. It's rubberized right there. This is also a rubbery feel all together. So you have your rubber here. It's a little bit harder material, not too far from actually what this is, but this is a little bit harder, but we do have a good comfort grip here. So starting out with everything, we need to go ahead and get rid of this. Now, at first looking at it, I thought maybe it's something that we could use and utilize it because it's the same type of strap, but in itself, it's not. We'd have to literally add something to this ring, which would then put it way past the length that we're gonna need. I mean, we literally probably end up adding another 6 inches of material to try to get what we need, and that wouldn't be good. And if not 6 inches of material, this definitely will not let us have the same concept of putting a nice little slip knot and having that go down. So yeah, so basically what we're gonna be doing is utilizing one above advanced knot, which is going to be called a Uni Knot. And a Uni Knot is basically used to mate 2 lines. And although we're not mating 2 lines, we're going to have 1 long line. We are mating 2 ends. And a Uni Knot will allow those 2 ends to cinch down on each other, causing them to tighten up on each other, and basically hoping to give us the strength and hold we need to do heavier weight, and hopefully they don't break. Something here, theirs is knitted together, so we'll have to do that. So first thing we do, we got this strap right here. So with the strap there, we're gonna go ahead and cut this off. So once this is done, this grip is pretty much done. We're in the game, we're at the point of no return. So we're gonna go ahead, cut that off, toss that to the side. And now that we have that cut, we need to go ahead and simply go ahead and get ready to make our line. So right here we have our Paracord 550, and like I said, that's a tensile strength of about 500 pounds according to the chart. So we're gonna go ahead and get some of this 550 out of here. And I'm gonna say we're probably gonna try to do maybe 3 or 4 foot of 550, just to give us some room for growth and see where we land there. Okay, and we might have to do the knot a couple of times until we get it together, but it shouldn't be too much. And of course, I'll cut and splice so you all don't have to sit through that grueling process. So I'm going to go about I'm going to go a little shy of that. I'm going to go 40. Let's see, let's go about 44. Let's go about 44 inches. All right, 44 inches right there. Let's go ahead and cut that. Cut that off. Now what we're gonna do is, because you see right here, the paracord have ends that are straight in the middle, okay? So it's a bunch of material in the middle. We don't want that to come loose, so we'll take this end that we just cut and go ahead and tug on it a little bit. And then what we'll do is we'll take the lighter and we'll burn it down. And then with the lighter, kind of do that, and then take your fingers and roll it. It'll make it easier to push it through and tie it and keep the material that's inside the sleeve and the outside sleeve together. That way they don't pull apart on us. All right, be careful when you do that, because the paracord is pretty warm at that point, and it's gelled, so it'll stick to you and burn you even more. So with this, we're not going to worry about cutting these ends off. We're just going to go ahead and burn them down again. All right, burn them down. Get that angle up, take it as soon as it gets nice and gelled and hot, push it against the lighter like that, then go ahead and twist it into a nice little point. All right, there we go. So we got our paracord ends together. We can go ahead and put this paracord over here out of the way. So now that we have our 2 ends nice and burnt, so you can see right there, they're nice burnt, but they're together, all right? Now what we're gonna do is put the 2 handles together, because now we wanna get this distance from here to here pretty much the same on this handle. So we'll put them together like this. Take the paracord, make the 2 ends, go ahead and try to get them in the middle as possible, as much in the middle as possible. And then take your hand, rub along to keep your place, see about what this is. And I think we want to go a little longer than this, probably like a little inch or so, because we're going to have to tie a knot to make this right here one single, and it'll be a nice little loop. All right, that's what we want to keep that center. That way, when we take the paracord through this, it will always come to its own natural center. So now I'm gonna keep that mark as good as possible, and I'm gonna take my hand, wrap this up, and pull this through like so. Make a nice little simple knot around that. Take it and boom. All right, so right now we're a little shorter, and it might work out to be okay because we might get a little pull on that, which would give us that extra inch down anyway. So now that we've got that down, let's make sure it's nice and snug. We're gonna go ahead, we don't need this here right now, and we're gonna take our other handle, the new handle that we're using, slide the paracord through one end, pull this through. Now, one thing you can do is you can see that we want to try to get the knot in the middle as much as possible. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take my thumb, put it kind of pretty much close in the middle. It's going to come natural middle anyway, but I want the uni knot to stay as close to the middle of the handle as possible to handle weight as evenly as possible. So now I'm just going to take my thumb and move it out till it comes to this edge, and that's pretty much in the middle for me. So now what we'll do is we'll take these two ends and begin tying our uni knot, all right? So in the uni knot, the most important thing is the twist, all right? So we wanna pull this a little tight, snug, we just wanna get our first one in, okay? So our first one in, we're gonna take a loop, all right? You're gonna loop it around the other one like this. This cord stays straight, you take the other cord and make a loop. And you want your end to go back toward the way that it came from. So there you go right there, all right? And if not, you can look up how to tie a new uni knot. And we're gonna wrap it around both parts of the paracord now, at least a few times, all right? So I got one, and right there that didn't work, so now I know I need a bigger loop. So I'm gonna make a bigger loop, all right, a bigger loop, and here we go. I'm gonna go one, my hands are a little big, one, and two, and three. I just barely got three. Now that I have three, I'm going to tug on this end, and you'll see that the cord, it starts to go ahead and make a nice little knot right there, all right? Just cinch on both. Not too much right now because we want to make sure we have it. So there you go. That's what it's going to look like. So now I'm going to take this end of the paracord and pull it nice and snug. I want it nice and snug. I want it tight around there. You see that? It's tight. All right, it's pretty much snug, because what's gonna happen is when these have the cinch down on each other, I'm gonna get a little slack in the line. So I wanna decrease as much of that slack. I only want about 1 inch of slack in there if at best. I wanna get as close as I can to this length right here, all right? So now that I have that, we know we wanna make a nice, at least a big loop, and we're gonna have to come as close as we can to this knot right here that we have for part of the uni. And now we have our end right here, and we're gonna start making our twist around the two pieces, all right? So that's one. I wanna try to get three like I got on the other one. And two, and three. Barely got it again, boom, three. And I'm really close to that other uni knot. So now I'm going to pull on the cord and snug it in from the bottom. Just go ahead and get it nice and snug, and boom. And now what's gonna happen is you see the two knots have made it together, and now they cinch down on each other, holding each other in, making it basically one piece of cord, all right? And they will cinch and hold. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that this is good first, and then we're gonna kind of make sure we get these ends and burn them a little bit and kind of flare them out. That way it's a little harder for it to come out. But this uni knot should hold and cinch on each other where it does not come off. So I think we're pretty good. We might even skip that step. So now let's go ahead, pull it inside the handle like so, and boom, there we go, all right? So put these side by side. As you see, we have about what I thought we would have. And it looks like pretty much, let's see how much more material it is here. It's about, that looks like that's about 1 inch or 2. That's probably about 1 inch or 2. So we got 2 inches more, which may not be a big deal, especially if it works and holds the weight, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go off camera, build this other one up, and then we're gonna get back to telling you what we're gonna do to test these two out, all right? All right, so I finished the other handle. I have both of them made. As you can see right here, let me get a pencil. Here, they're pretty much the same length. The knots are pretty much in the same place, might be off 1/1000 of an inch. The handles pretty much feel the same, about the same tension on them when I pull on them, like so. So I think we're good there. We're probably not too far off. And if you look in comparison, the concept is about the same, all right? We are about 2 inches more length on the loop on the one that we made compared to the 90 angle, the angle 90 grip. But as you see, the concept's the same. Now, what I do want to point out is this. I did not like the chafing of the strap between the middle finger and my other finger. So I like this concept better, where my hand goes in here and all the stuff, all the pressure is out here. I don't have any chafing on my fingers or in between my fingers, which comfort means a lot when you're repping out. You don't want your mind to be focused on uncomfort. You want it to be focused on getting that pressure and feeling the burn and not feeling just minuscule little bull crap, all right? So that's one thing I didn't like. So now is the tail of the tape. We're gonna take our homemade grips and the Angles 90 grips, and we're gonna go over to the gym area and we're gonna test them with the same weights, same exercises. So let's go. All right, so we're over here in the gym area. What I have set up down below, which you can't see right now, is 135 pounds for the deadlift test. First test we're gonna run is the pull-up test, because that's definitely one of the exercises that I see Angles 90 presenting and promoting, is the pull-up, and along with the lat pull and other rowing type pulling exercises. But for today's test, what we're gonna do is the pull-up test. I right now, not being in cut, am roughly around 202 pounds. The deadlift is at 135. We will add an additional plate to that to take it up to 225 and see where we end up there. But first, let's go ahead and get the test in on the pull-ups, all right? So we're gonna take these down first and go ahead and put these off to the side. We're gonna run the test with the angle 90s first. All right, so you can see them work and you can see those work. So I'm gonna not be facing you right now, but basically the concept is you take one side, put the handle through, and there you go. Take the other side, put the handle through, and there you go. So one thing about these is they are concave, so I don't know if sometimes it might be different for you, but since they're on the rope, probably not. And then you would just go ahead and do your pull-ups, and you can see my joints have the room and the mobility they need to be able to twist and turn and get into their natural range of motion, okay? So now that you've seen the angle 90s work, take these down, put these off to the side. Now is the tail of the tape to see if these actually work, all right? Same thing, the made concept, take them in, loop them up right there, take it in, loop it up right there, all right? So, disclaimer, if I happen to get up here and bust my butt, I will keep it in the footage. I promise you, have a good laugh on me. Emergency bills are a bit of a steep one, but hey, cost to innovate, right? So we're gonna see what's happening. By the way, I am at all not taking any liability for any incidences that happen, accidents. You are at your own risk by trying to modify and make your own grips. Just as I am not liable for anything that happens to you. I'm not telling you to follow this format. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just showing you something of an idea that I had, wanted to try it out, and that's what we're doing here. All right, so let's see what happens. So I can definitely feel a little bit on different pull, but there we go. Pass the pull-up test. All right, 2 pull-ups out of there. So now let's get these off. Let me check the knots. And as you see here, the knots are still in place. This little bit of end that was out here is still there. It hasn't gone anywhere. The cinch is even tighter, letting me know that it's really tightening up on itself. So that means the knot should be in itself stronger. So let me check this one. Let's check this one too. you see I had a little bit more room on this one. All right, so they weren't exactly the same length, but I got them to be about the same when I finished the end product. Okay, so you see right there, they're pretty much about the same right there. All right, so now we will go ahead, drop this camera down, try the deadlift test, see how that comes out. Okay, so we're down here. I got to drop the camera down. I do not have a camera person today, so you'll have to deal with half of my body being cut off during the deadlift test, but still you'll see what's important, and that is these and how they function, and if these actually break loose, you'll definitely see that. So we're going to go ahead and attach these on. Them about right here. These are the angle 90, so we're going to run those for about 2 reps first. And we'll get the grips like so. Like I said, I do not like the way these straps are in between my finger. And we'll get in motion for the deadlift. And there you go. There you go. Function just like they're advertised. And by the way, this video is no way a knock on Angles 90. It's just I saw something, decided if I could make it myself instead of ordering it, and could I save myself a little money in my gym bag, and if it works, it works. All right, so we'll put these up, put these over here. Let's get ours out, mine out. All right, so same thing, take it, put it through the loop. There we go. Take it, put it through the loop. Here we go. And let's see what we got. So get in and there we go. They function just fine. They did not break. So what we'll do is look at the knot. Still holding. Check this knot, still holding. Now we're gonna go ahead, put 225 on here, see what happens. All right, so loaded up the bar. We got 225 pounds on this deadlift with these grips that I just made out of Paracord and fitness gear hand grips and a couple of knots, a Uni Knot and a regular knot. All right, I'm gonna give it a go. Hopefully they don't break. We'll see what happens. And there we go. They didn't break. I heard a little growing pains, but they did not break. Let's check the knots. The ends are still in the same place, which means nothing has changed. The ends, the knots are even tighter on each other, which should add for security. And these are the same. So I'm feeling pretty, I'm not gonna lie. I wanna test the limits. I at least wanna get up to 315 and see if these hand grips will handle 315 pounds. Thus far, we haven't ended up in a emergency situation. I haven't made an ass of myself just yet. And I'm questioning the 315, but I'm just saying, why not go for it, right? Let's try it. 315 coming up. All right, so listen, I had back day yesterday and it was crucial, but it's only a few reps and it's definitely worth it for me to see if this is actually going to work. Right now, we have 315 pounds loaded up on a deadlift on these just now being tested, homemade, similar type of angle 90 grips that I made out of Paracord and regular fitness gear hand grips, okay? We're about to see if 315 pounds is gonna come up and snap, never come up, or come up and it's gonna be bank, okay? After that, I think I'm gonna level off there and go back over there to the desk and we'll close this video out. So let's see what happens. They held. They actually held. Let's check these knots. Look, the knot did not move. The end, the smallest end out of both handles is still there. It didn't move. The knot's even tighter. So listen, there are some things that I noticed. We're gonna address those things, the difference between these, and we're gonna address that right now. And then we're gonna close out, and I'm gonna tell you how much money I actually spent to make these compared to the price of these. Let's get started. All right, so listen, I am pretty stoked about the fact that these grips that I made, pretty much these similar type angle 90s grips I made from paracord and handles, actually worked up to 315 pounds. Okay, now what I am gonna say, like I said, this is not a knock at all on this. I just saw this concept and wondered if it was something that I could make, and it might even feel just as good to me as these do. I do like the feel of these grips that I made better because I don't have the chafing of this strap between my fingers. But there is something that I did notice, and I got to be totally transparent. Okay, so with the 550 paracord, I honestly think that it held at 315. I think it may have been a little shaky approaching 400, 500 pounds. I would say step up to the larger paracord, which I think is like a 700 series, which in itself is higher. And I have the chart. I've been posting it time to time here so you can see the 550. So I'll also try to make sure I leave a link to the paracord chart down below in the description, as well as a link to maybe these handles if you want to try out the same handles. Okay, so with that being said, I did get a little give of elasticity in the Paracord 550, very small, but it was there. I could definitely feel it. And it also might have been because of the growing pains, the knots singeing down on each other, getting tighter, and just giving up that little extra material doing so. But they held up to 315 pounds, and I actually felt good doing it, and I didn't feel unsafe when it was happening. So I'm actually pretty pleased with this experiment. Angles 90s is definitely a product that does work for as it is advertised. The deadlifts and pull motions do feel better, and you do get a bit more of a contraction in that lat area because of your joints being able to just move freely as long as you keep good form. And I felt the same in this, even in a pull-up like this to this doing the pull-ups was the same to me. All right, I felt the same type of intensity. I felt the same freelessness of motion. I didn't feel fixed. I didn't feel awkward. So the concept, the same in both of these. The quality of the product, I guess I'm gonna have to say Angles 90. They put a lot of research and development into making these, as well as the material and molding these more ergonomically as far as the hand. But I had no problem have any problem with these right now. Only thing I would suggest is stepping up to the 700 series paracord. So let's get down to the nitty gritty as far as what it cost me to make these compared to these. If you go on Angles 90's website and you look for these, you're gonna find them at about $44.90, and that's before shipping. I don't know if they're doing free shipping or not, but if you add shipping, you got to be probably talking about another $8 to $12 to ship these. They say they're about 5 pounds by the time you get this, a carabiner in a bag. So you're looking at about 50 something bucks right here. These cost me $20 to make. All right. The grips were basically $13 with tax. The paracord, I still got a butt ton of it, and it cost me $6.99 plus tax. 20 bucks, okay? More than half off. And I made similar concepts right here, okay, that I will use in my home gym time to time. Definitely, I might even go ahead and get the 700 series paracord and step these up now that I know the concept that I was putting in place works. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Angles, making your own Angles 90 grip like types for $20 versus the $44.90 plus probably $8 to $10, $12 of shipping, basically 50 something bucks. It was a success on this end. So once again, you know what I say, be safe, and I really do mean that. I'm not responsible for any accidents that may happen. I'm dead serious about this. This is an experiment. This is not something to be sold and all the other good stuff. It was fun to do. If you want to try it, you're at your own risk. Be safe. Let's build together, and peace.